fish.
It's nice fish.
Yeah.
Well done, well done. Hi! Welcome to Brei.
The pure waters of the Brei River flow through the majestic scenery of eastern Iceland and meet the sea at the tiny town of Breiðdalsvík. The river and its tributaries, Norðdalsá and Tinadalsá, flow through the broad valley called Breiðdalur. And here there is a vast amount of fishing for very few rods. It's a picturesque agricultural valley, and the river it holds flows through beautiful surroundings. The rapids, waterfalls, wide slow-flowing pools, and classic runs make up over 25 miles of fishing. The river is managed as a whole, and there are 3 or 4 beats fished by 2 rods each depending on the time of year. The average catch in the short season from July to September has been around 100 salmon in the past. But these numbers are growing. Angling service Strengir, who manage the river, are adding to the wild stocks with the proven method of smolt releasing. This is the same process that they've used on the Rangau River, making it one of the best-known salmon rivers in the world. The fertilization process is undignified but productive. In early spring, the hatchery-reared smolts are released into ponds fed by river water. It takes them less than a week to imprint on the scent of their home river. Once they do, they're left to head for the sea in their own time. As well as keeping rod-caught fish alive to use as broodstock, they're also improving natural spawning habitat and encouraging catch and release. With tens of thousands of smolts released each spring, numbers of grilse and multi-sea winter fish are rising steadily. These fish are increasingly being caught by anglers from abroad, among them Sandy Levinton, editor of the British magazine Trout and Salmon. Michael Evans, international fly casting instructor, holding one of the many Arctic char caught in the river. Grace Oglesby playing a salmon, and of course Arthur Oglesby, who is sadly no longer with us. Arthur will be remembered as a great fishing enthusiast and instructor, a respected writer and photographer, and a prolific catcher of salmon, many of them here in Iceland. Writer, conservationist, and keen angler Jack Hemingway, who like Arthur died in November of 2000, made his last fishing trip to Iceland in August of that year. The Breiðdalsá was one of the 3 rivers he visited.
I've found Iceland to be a very exciting destination for salmon fishing. One of the most important reasons is that there's a great diversity of rivers. For the most part, they're small rivers. They're very personable. You become very closely acquainted with them. And the other thing, which I particularly like, is that the people in Iceland are extremely friendly. They don't even mind Americans. This river, the Breiðdalsá, is one of the new rivers that's being enhanced with smolt introduction. The fish are all from local sources, and we're in I think the 3rd or 4th year on this river, and the program is just starting to pay off. This is my 2nd day here. I hope that this day I'm going to connect.
Fortunately, the salmon here don't discriminate on the basis of reputation alone, and the river can give good results to any angler who's willing to experience the beauty and challenge of the Breiðdalsá. The upper section of the main Breiðdalsá River meanders through the broadening valley. The bottom is mainly sand and gravel, with few rapids or rocky sections. On windless days, the surface of the water can be too still, as it was when Michael Evans cast a long line here. But usually there's no shortage of wind in Iceland, and in better conditions, Sandy Levinton struck silver.
Excellent morning, Sandy.
The voice behind the camera is Froster Edlidesson, head of angling service Strenggir.
There's a big one. Good fishing.
Yeah, it's been a lovely morning. Lost 1 and caught 2.
The upper river can hold good numbers of fish in the late summer, but they can be hard to catch in low water conditions, as Malcolm McPherson found out on a mild August day. He cast over several fish with the help of guide Julius.
1 meter more, longer line.
But they weren't in a taking mood. Swiss angler Reto Koutalidis had better luck in the same pool.
Very happy.
Well done.
Reto was fishing a microtube skated on the surface using a riffled hitch technique.
Came like a trout.
Yeah.
And the first one was just, I thought, maybe 5-6 pounds. And then it keep on,
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom. I didn't jump, nothing, and my arm is hurting me now.
4.5 kilo. That's 10 pounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
The middle section of the Bredalsau runs from a dramatic waterfall to the junction with the river's main tributary. The main falls spill over into a big deep pool that can be fished from both banks. Just below, the river narrows and falls again into a pool that's fished from the top of this small cliff. Further downstream, a pool that's particularly good for using the riffle hitch, but that can be said of many pools in this part of the river. Then a series of classic pools as the river rushes to meet the tributary Tinnadalsau. Here, Reto fishes the run just below the junction with a single-handed rod. The river suits both single and double-handed rods, usually with floating lines, but sometimes intermediate or sink tips. Meanwhile, Malcolm pores over his fly box looking for something tempting. But did it work?
Well, this was caught on the junction pool. It's a lovely bit of turquoise, streamy water, and it took it exactly the right place.
Malcolm also caught a smaller grilse just upstream, this one on a size 14 butcher's, so not a bad morning for him. Each day's fishing is divided into 2 sessions of 6 hours, and who would want to fish more when you consider the comforts waiting back at the Bredalsau Lodge? A fabulous new lodge was built in the spring of 2003. It's on the lower part of the river system in Throstrud Lideson's family estate, called Eidjar. It's connected to an older house where staff live, and the office of Angling Service Strengir is now located. Not far from the banks of the river, the lodge offers spectacular views of the surrounding high, snow-jacketed mountain peaks, right across the valley from the sitting and dining rooms and the balcony. It's a short distance to drive to the river, a big difference from the previous hotel arrangements in the nearby village of Bredalsvik, which meant quite a long time in the car on the way to the beats. The lodge has a good tackle and drying room. Once you've got your fishing gear off, you walk into a long hall where you can see the cozy fire in the sitting room. There are 8 ensuite double bedrooms, including 1 master suite, and they all have TV and internet connections. Every bathroom even has specially heated floors. The luxury doesn't stop there. There's a hot jacuzzi on the balcony, and next door a sauna to relax in after a good day's fishing. The lodge is ideal for non-fishing guests wanting a high degree of comfort, and at the same time to be able to relax and enjoy the surroundings. And there's plenty of choice of other activities at Angling Service Strengir.